as you can.
Yeah, so one of the hallmarks of a Ponzi scheme is that they will allow you to put as much money as you possibly can. They will push you to put more money in, and they will allow everybody to put money in, unlimited. That is the first sign that it might be a Ponzi scheme. I said, but the second thing is they will try everything to make you keep your money in there, and they'll make excuses for why they can't pay you out right now because there's some kind of lock-in thing that you have to keep your money in. They don't want you to take it out. So I said, so those are two hallmarks that typically tell you there's something fishy going on. It probably is a Ponzi scheme. So I said, when I looked at MAP, the first thing I noticed is that they limit how many people can actually get into this. So I said, so either this is not a Ponzi scheme, or Michael Deese is the biggest idiot that ever walked the planet to create a Ponzi scheme. I said, that makes no sense. I said, then when you get to 1,200 packs, you have to take out your profit. I said, what idiot would do that running a Ponzi scheme? I said, so when I look at this and the fact that we've been going over 2 years, I said, you don't even need to know anything else, folks. It is not a Ponzi scheme. I said, now the other thing is people say, well, this is some kind of pyramid scheme. I said, you do understand that the way a pyramid scheme works is that the guys who get in at the bottom, right at the beginning, make all the money because they're making it off everybody else coming in. So I said, now, here's the thing. I said, I happen to know the guy who sponsored Simon Stepsis. And I said, Simon Stepsis is one of the most successful people here, and he's a millionaire. I said, but he's making way more money than the guy who introduced him. I said, so if it was a pyramid scheme, that could not be possible. So I know this is not a pyramid scheme. I said, it's also not an MLM program. I said, now I know there's a lot of negative stuff, and I said, quite honestly, MLM concept is a great concept, but there's been too much abuse with it. And I've said, and so a lot of people haven't made money, and people think MLM, I don't want anything to do with it. I said, including me. I said, but in this program, you do get paid for introducing people, but you make squat if they introduce people. So it's not an MLM program. And what is the last one there?
Investment.
It's not an investment. I said, because an investment is where you put money in and you earn either interest or growth on it because it's a capital investment and the stock market's going to go up or down based on that. And I said, however, I said, you are participating in profits because you are buying product in this company. And I said, and it really is very much like a Canadian co-op. Because in a Canadian co-op, you have to be a member. And I said, and then you buy products through the co-op. And at the end of the year, based on how much you bought, when they declare profit share or dividend, based on what you've purchased, they give you a dividend check. And I said, I used to get that in Saskatchewan every year because I shopped at the co-op. I said, now MAP's no different. Really, you have to be a member of MAP. Depending on how much money you spend in the co-op buying advertising with them, they pay you dividends back. And people say, oh, now I get it. Now I understand. I say, see, it's not an investment. And it's not technically a business in that sense. I said, you're just participating in the most incredible advertising business, and you don't have to wait for a year. Mm-hmm. We're going to pay you based on the sales every 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And people's eyes just open right up. And I said, so I get past all of that negative stuff. And I said, and the other thing is, it is not a pay-per-click program. I said, now how many of you people understand what pay-per-click is? And a lot of people don't. They said, well, I've heard the term. I said, well, this is how pay-per-click works. I said, if you advertise as a pay-per-click advertiser, what it means is you only get charged if somebody actually clicks on your ad. I said, now that sounds really good. And I said, and I went with that when I was first advertising on the internet. I said, but what I didn't realize is that 99% of those programs can actually be run by computer software. Oh. And I said, so people are running software that ping people's websites by the thousands. They get paid all this money. That's how they're making money on pay-per-click. But you don't have real eyes actually looking at your website. But you've got all these numbers. So I said, people get duped into thinking it's working, but it's not. So I said, in MAP, regardless of how much you've purchased in the system, you only have to look at 10 ads, but you have to look at them. They have built it so that no computer robot can do this. And I said, and that's why it is none of those things. So I do two things. I say, this is what MAP is. and this is what it's not. And as soon as I get past that, I don't have any more objections from people. And then I go even further and I say, now, I said, if you're a cynic like me and you do what most people do, I said, I Google searched MAP right away. And I said, and at first I was horrified by what I found. I said, there were all these posts saying that it's a Ponzi scheme. And I said, Terra Talks is on there and a bunch of others. I said, you're going to find that if you search on there. But I said, but here's the thing. As I've just explained to you how a Ponzi scheme works, you already know that that can't possibly be true. And I said, and some of those guys promoting this actually went so far as to promote their own advertising companies with a link at the end of their article. So I said, so they're liars and they're deceiving you. So I said, you're going to find that. And I said, and the other thing I found is this guy, Simon Steps, just pops up everywhere. And I said, it's almost like he is an owner of the company. I said, I know the guy who sponsored him. He's not an owner. And I said, and just because he was involved in a very large advertising company that went belly up, people insinuate that now because he's working with MAP that it's going to go belly up. I said, what kind of stupid logic is that? I said, but here's the most powerful thing I learned. It's what the internet didn't say. What the internet didn't say, what I could not find, is anybody that had put money into MAP that didn't get paid when they wanted to withdraw money. And I said, so you see, I have done my due diligence. I have worked this. And I said, and I now am part of this, and I work with people, and they all get paid. So I said, you're welcome to go and research, but that's what you're going to find. And you know what? Most of them never even bother.